Welcome. In front of me is a VIVO V40 SE, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and the tricks you can do on this device. So to get started, let's open up our settings, and I'm going to begin with the display and the brightness. There we go. And in here we have a couple of things. So number one, we have the dark theme. This is basically dark or light mode. You can enable it, and it also gives you the option to set it on a sunset to sunrise or on a custom timer. So with that, you could basically have it turn on during nighttime only, and during the daytime you can stick with the light mode if that is something that you prefer. Moving back to the display and brightness, and scrolling further down, we have screen color. This allows you to choose the saturation of your display. There's a couple modes. We have standard, professional, and bright. Professional one will be the one that is trying to be a little bit more color accurate, though I don't think this is actually color accurate. But it will be also a little bit more toned down in terms of the vibrancy of colors. Then we have bright one, which is going to be the most overdone one. As you can see, this is radiating colors. So in honesty, the standard and the professional are close together. The only difference is that the professional has more warm tint to the to everything compared to the standard, which is more neutral, or if you like swap between them, it looks more bluish. So I'm gonna stick with the standard. And you also have the option to choose color temperature. So we have default, warm, and cold, which is also a warmer or colder kind of tone. Now moving further down, we have font and display size. This just allows you to tweak the font size and stuff like that. So we also have the info or preview image changing on the spot, so you can see how that affects it, along with everything else. There we go. You can also make the text bold, which is an interesting option, and high contrast text. So you can see it right here, though not something that I like. Next, we have status bar right here, and this allows you to choose the notification method in here, and we have the option to choose either number or none. So by default, you will have icons of your notifications right here from an app that you have notification from. And there's only, I believe, space for 3 or 4 of them, at which point you're just going to have like these 3 dots next to it. But if you choose something like a number, it will just summarize this to a single number, and no matter how many notifications you have once you pull down your notifications, it will just always give you the number of how many in total you have. So pretty nice option to clean out your display. Now, last thing in here is going to be the screen refresh rate. Then we have smart switch 60 or 120. Now, by default, most of you will probably benefit from the smart switch, which is set by default, but for the select few that don't really see much of a difference between the 60 and 120, which to check this out, you would need to swap to 60 and start scrolling up and down, and for instance 120 and start scrolling up and down. And if you don't see any difference between this kind of motion of text moving on the screen when you're swiping, then switch to 60. It will give you better battery life. But for people that do see a difference and prefer the 120, select smart switch, as this will give you the smooth scrolling of 120, but when there's nothing moving on the screen like right now, it will lower it down to 60 or possibly even lower to preserve battery life. Now let's go back, and now I'm gonna navigate to check something quickly in here. Okay, so it's not in here. I think I was confusing the devices, but in any case, next we can go into dynamic effects. And see, we have enhanced dynamic effects, weather backgrounds. So you can choose, which is actually enabled, to have some kind of effect on your background that incorporates weather into it. Oh. Let's go back to the settings. I'm moving further down under RAM and storage. I believe we have the option to, here we go, RAM. to either disable or enable the RAM kind of extension. This device looks like it comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 4 or another 8 gigabytes of actual storage. Now this is very misleading and just absolute bullshit tactic from manufacturers to just completely literally bullshit their way with what the phone is capable of. And the reason for that is something like SSD, or in this case it's probably UFS 3.1 storage type in here, doesn't equate to RAM storage. RAM is an acronym for basically, what was it? I would check if my mouse would actually work. Actually. So RAM stands for Random Access Memory. Now this doesn't really mean much, but what it is used for does. So when you have RAM, it is used to store information on it that will need to be quickly accessed. Primarily, for instance, in games, that includes things like on VRAM for graphics cards, textures and stuff like that, that just automatically just goes to it. It can instantly basically access this, while storage has a limitation. Storage is much slower. RAM is designed to basically do this stupidly fast. Storage, on the other hand side, is designed to, as the name would imply, store. So there is a bit of a difference between those two. And with the manufacturer's logic, people that have desktops could be running terabytes of RAM. And believe it or not, people actually need RAM in their computers, so it would be almost stupid not to do this. But there is a reason why people with the desktops don't have terabytes of storage by default by using something like NVMe's, because it's absolutely effing stupid. So you get no benefit of doing that. And in terms of phones, I also don't really get to benefit from this. If you were to use this and probably run games like some games that would require you to have more RAM, then you will encounter most likely stutterings, because once it's gonna load the info from storage, it's going to do it much slower. Not a very beneficial kind of thing to have when trying to play a game smoothly, and then it just starts stuttering because it needs to access that crap that is stored on the storage that's supposed to be accessed almost instantly, because that's how the system works. So I personally just like to get rid of this, and now it looks like I need to restart the device for this, which is absolutely annoying. So I'm gonna keep it on for now, as I don't really want to reboot the device right now. Anyway, with that rant over, let's move over to a couple last options that I wanted to go into. So one of those would be the gesture navigation, which we have system navigation under system, and we have 3-button nav and gesture nav, as well as some options for gestures once you select them, to, for instance, hide the bar that is visible at the bottom. Just adds to that clean look. And it looks like we don't have the option to increase or decrease the sensitivity by the looks of it in here. And the last thing that I want to showcase is this little sidebar right here on the side. It is enabled by default. Got it. So in here you can have a couple applications added. You can actually add more. So once you do that, you can, for instance, quickly open up in a pop-up view some kind of applications, and this can be done probably not this one. This can be done with other applications running in the background, and you can also access this while you have other apps open. So let's just say I want to open up calculator, and you can also see that it minimizes it into this app head that you can move around, and you can click on it and, for instance, bring up any kind of window at any given moment to access whatever it has. And you can also maximize it right here, minimize it, and close it. So there we go. This concludes all the tweaks and tricks that I want to show you. So if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.